All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome once again to Dream Career Talk Show. Today's episode is a very special one because we have a very special guest with us who is going to talk on a very special topic as well. So we all know that stock market is the way to generate more income for many people, especially during COVID and post COVID. Many people started learning and doing stock trading for generating more income. While some made money, some went through losses. So what is the best way? How can you not only make money from stock trading but also make stock market education as one of your careers? So today with us on Dream Career Talk Show, we have an innovative stock educator, right? And there are a lot of things that I need to talk about him because he has accomplished a lot of it in not only this space but in the other spaces as well. So Dr. Vijay Prakash is a co-founder and director of GVD Wealth Professional Private Limited. He is a co-author of Amazon's number one bestseller, Slumdog Investor. And this book was special because it was inaugurated on the sets of KBC, Kaun Banega Crorepati 2019, episode 1, by none other than our own Sri Amitabh Bachchan ji. He is also the creator of 5 MMPT system, 5-minute millionaire pro trader, which helps the common man trade in the stock market in just 5 minutes. During the 16 years of his trading career, he learned various theories, approaches, and concepts only to realize that anyone can build a complex system, but it takes a genius to simplify it. He has inspired over 50,000 people from various walks of life through his live seminars, workshops, videos, and online courses to become professional traders. His mission is to influence and impact 100,000 people through his live and online programs and courses and live workshops. His message to the common man is, in your life, you will make as much money as you want, but you will make as much money as you deserve. The market pays you for the skills which you have. Coming to his awards, rewards, and recognitions, he has many. To name a few, Golden Book of the Year 2022 for Slumdog Investor, which is his book by Wings Publication, Financial Literacy Ambassador and Influencer of the Year by MS Stocks India, Innovative Stock Market Educator by franchisebatao.com, Best Stock Market Strategies of India by EFI, 1 Crore Club Award by ILH Academy, Icons of Asia Award, WRB Group Award, at Promising Wealth Coach of the Year presented by Dia Mirza, Time Cyber Media Brand Icon Award presented by Lara Datta, G-Town Award for Remarkable Wealth Coach of the Year, Business Mint Award, Best Stock Market Strategist, Global Brand and Leader Award, Best Stock Market Strategist, TPL Business Award, Remarkable Wealth Coach of the Year, and American Merit Council recognition. And these are just a few to name. And I think it will take a lot of time for me to just cover this. But let me bring the man himself, Vijay, Dr. Vijay. Welcome to Dream Career Talk Show. It's an honor to have you here.
Thank you, Fatah. It's an honor to be part of this talk show too, right? I have been seeing you hosting and inviting such a great people to this show, and I think what this is 76th episode, if I'm correct,
Yeah,
for
74th
this,
episode.
and
That's right.
kudos to your persistency and consistency, and the kind of people you bring in on this show. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And it's really nice to have you here. So, Dr. Vijay, we can see your background as well. So many awards, right? And you have influenced already and inspired so many people and helped them in the new way of education, right? One is the traditional way, academics, but your way is the new way where you are helping people to
Yeah,
generate passive sources of income, wealth, and everything here.
yeah.
So, how did you get started with this? And when did you get started with this particular thing?
It's very interesting, Fatah. Actually, I just wanted to make few extra bucks, because the challenge was I was in a job. I have worked in corporate for almost a decade, but you know how the challenge is in the job in terms of increment, right? Even if you're doing so good and as you grow in your career, you are capped around 10 to 12%.
That's
So
right.
I was not happy with that 10 to 12%. I was wanting more, and this is where to make some extra bucks I started, and didn't know that time that this whole thing will turn into a passion, and then eventually it will become a profession.
Amazing. So this was something you started for a different reason, but today you're already inspiring many people out there, right?
Right.
So now that you have been coaching a lot of people, what is the biggest myth you see in this particular field, Vijay?
The biggest myth here is people think it is possible to make quick money here, and
Mhm.
most of the people think it's a gambling, and they quickly come here, want to make quick bucks. And there's a famous quote, I would say, which says people come here to make quick money here, but they become a long term investor because they get caught, their portfolio goes down, and they don't have other choice than to wait and watch when the prices are going to go up and if they can come out of it.
Interesting. And how long did it take for you to learn about this skill, right? Before you started teaching to others?
I must say, I have gone to many mentors. A time came when I was confident that, okay, I think it's a time when you start producing the results, especially when you feel like now I'm confident that I should help more number of people. And again, I will say it was not kind of a plan. If you remember this Corona period, when just before it started, 5 years ago, when I quit my job, I realized that people would require help in this space. This is where I slowly started coaching and training people, very little number. See, because I was a trader, that is my still
Mhm.
core. I am a trader. But eventually, I realized that people need help, and there are not a lot of people who give them the right knowledge, what is required.
Right.
So eventually, I would say, even after starting my company, it took me at least 2 more years to decide that I want to get into this coaching and training space. So maybe you
Mhm.
can say 3 years ago is when I started with momentum.
Okay, nice. And you were there in job for a decade, right?
Almost
So
a
how
decade.
did you make this transition from job to starting something of your own?
Oh, that is again an interesting story. So almost I was in a decade in a job, and like everyone, you want to become free. And I was almost 41 that time. I was like,
Mhm.
boss, abhi 40 ho gaya hai. Now I really need to do something of my own, right? And I've been of kind of saving in a frugal way. I have always maintained my lifestyle one notch down, right? Generally, what people do is once their increment will come, they will take the lifestyle one notch up. I always kept
Right.
my lifestyle one notch down. That actually helped me to save for future because I had a plan to do something of my own. So kind of I realized that I can support myself for next 5 years, and let me give myself 5 years to do something on your own, right? Though they say burn the bridges when you go forward, but I was like, okay, let's go take a chance, and if it does not work out anyway, you can come back and do it. But with the grace of God, everything went well.
Great. Nice to know that. And how was the journey initially? Like, was it easy? Was it difficult? How did you get started and
No,
finally made it
being
like, yeah,
entrepreneur, that this journey is never easy, right? It's always rough, right? Because see, in my case, the advantage was I was making two income. And that is what I want to tell everyone, that even if you're in job, you should have two income. So I was making good money. I was in a fairly good position in my job also. So letting go your one income, and stock market income is not going to be consistent. That people should understand.
right.
So you will make money like a business. Any business has a seasonality. Same seasonality you are going to face in stock market too. But in 12 months, for sure, you're going to make money. So
Mhm.
once I came out, one job income was gone. I had my savings to support myself for next 5 years for sure. And then I had my stock market income, which was inconsistent, I would say, because in a year, definitely you make good money, but it may not give you money every single month. So
Right.
it was a rough patch initially, but I think it took us 2 years to kind of stabilize the things and build things. So yeah, that's how the journey was.
Mhm. And when did you identify, like, was there any trigger or was there something that made you identify, okay, hey, I'm making money, right? One from my stock trading, but I want to now help others to actually make money as well. So you started helping these people. So when was that
Actually,
and
yes.
how did this shift happen?
Yeah. So this was the time of Corona period. I think before, little before that, we started our offline coaching. And before that, I started going to a lot of programs. And by the time you realize that seeing a lot of coaches, that actually you know more than those people, right? One.
Right.
And you are producing better result than those guys. And then you realize that, okay, now I think there is more need to go reach out to people and start coaching and mentoring them. Basically, you kind of do a industry study. I won't say it was conscious study, but it was unconscious. I started going to a lot of, because I was free, right? I was
Mm-hmm.
going to a lot of the coaching and mentoring program, and I also realized that there is a lot of guidance, but there is also a lot of misguidance.
Mm-hmm.
So nobody talks too much about the risk. People are being thrown to risky instruments and things like that. So my core mission and vision was to teach people about the risk,
Mm.
because these hard earned people, I was very much related to a lot of corporate people who were hard earned money was actually, they were putting in stock market, they were making wrong decisions, breaking their future saving, because this is a space of greed, right?
Right.
So for the greed, people come here, right? And a lot of people will persuade them to even break their savings of future and bring into stock market, and all those wrong practices were there. So I was not happy about it. I was not happy about it. And this is when I decided, no, no, we got to give people the right education in terms of that it should not be greed driven thing, but there has to be a proper planning and there has to be a proper mentorship in this area.
Exactly. And this is just like any other entrepreneur. You saw a big problem there out in the market, and you said, "Hey, I'm going to take the ownership to solve this particular problem." So good, you started this, and I'm sure like it has helped a lot of people. Now, when you started, like, how long did it take for you to actually get success in creating some successful case studies there? Because I can see behind the screen as well, right, on your background, so many awards you have got, so many places you got recognized. So, how much time did it take for you to get that breakthrough in this particular field and get recognized on those various big platforms?
Actually, if you ask me about the successful case study, a number of people and things like that, it was almost a year by when you really see people making good money. But in our system, like the moment market starts doing good, you can see people make money. That's not a big deal. I mean,
Mm.
making money is not difficult here as long as you follow the system. But a big result you'll be able to see in a year's time.
Hmm. So at least a year is what people will have to spend, because many people they give up after a certain stage, right?
That's so true. That's so true. That's so true. See, it's there in every field, Fatah. You take any field, people crib about network marketing. This is not good. I would say my initial study of the sales and things like that was there in the network marketing. All right.
Hmm.
And in any field, the success rate is always going to be 1%. So many people join courses, but
Right.
ultimately, it's your ownership which will make you successful. And you got to realize there is going to be a journey, there is going to be a testing, there is going to be a nature's rule applicable. Very simple: to when you plant a seed, you cannot expect it to become a tree next day, right? So
Exactly.
it is going to take time. You have to give the time for that germination. And if you like, I'll give you my example. So when I started my stock market trading, a lot of people were excited and they started, but I don't
Hmm.
see them. All of them vanished. So a lot of people come like a mushroom, but as the season is gone, they vanish. You know,
Right. And I can completely resonate that you also have a strong reason why you are doing this, right? It's not just the money part. You want to create that impact as well, which actually keeps driving you forward.
absolutely, absolutely. The vision is to raise the financial literacy of this country. You said that in a beginning. New education, right? I think I just read this quote yesterday. What Einstein said: the fact-based education should be gone. you
Hmm.
know the fact based, I mean, whatever is available on Google, why do we need to read it? I mean, that's the way still education system operates. We all should work in terms of innovation. The irony
Right.
of situation in our country is that there is nowhere a syllabus on the creativity. Nowhere. Neither
Right.
you are reading Edward de Bono, nothing on creativity. But the moment you step into corporate, and I'm talking about right from your childhood education to the professional education, no lesson on creativity, but the moment you enter into corporate, your manager says, guys, we got to be creative. I mean, how can you expect a person to be creative if he's not trained on creativity, right?
Right.
So I think it's a high time where we got to educate our young ones that focus on the high income skills rather than fact based education. And I think
Right.
world is moving towards that. That's why we see those young entrepreneurs and young millionaires, because they understand that and they're fast, they're super fast, you know.
Right. I think a lot of people resonating with that as well. And that's absolutely true, right? We need to move away from the old education to the new way of
Yeah,
education, learning some great
yeah,
skills there,
yeah.
right? And coming to your educational background, were you academically had exposure to all this kind of wealth management, stock
No, no,
trading,
no,
and
no,
all?
no.
Or how did
Not
you
at all.
like?
Not at all. Every master was once a disaster, right? So I'm a mechanical engineer by education, and
Mhm,
I actually talk about a very very interesting concept in my training. Fatah, I would want to share with your viewers here. So first, I always say this, that probably you are stuck in your life because of one of these three reasons, and I call it a prison. I recently did an Instagram video also. Anyway, I will share the link of that with your viewers. I just started Instagramming because I had not focused too much on this social media and things like that. So there
mhm.
are three prisons due to which you will not make big in life. The first prison is called as a prison of your bullshit story. You create that B story around you, and you keep telling that emotional story to people that you why you can't be successful. The second prison is your prison of degree, that I am an engineer, I am a doctor, I am a lawyer, and you live your entire life around that prison of your degree, and you don't explore your possibility, right? And
Right.
the third prison is a prison of your bank balance, where you start defining your life based on that bank balance. However, that's just a number which can be changed. Both of us know this thing, right?
Right.
So these prisons will not let you grow, for sure. So this is an interesting concept. I want everyone, that if you are caught up in one of these three prisons, you may not be aware of it, but they don't let you grow.
Absolutely. And since I work with a lot of mid-career professionals, and I myself was in job for about 17 years, I have been in these three prisons and I see a lot of people there, right?
Yeah,
One is the story that we give to ourselves, right? The bullshit story we always give to ourselves, why we cannot grow or become successful. We try to connect ourselves with the education, right? I'm a doctor, I'm an engineer, so not trying to explore or find our passion in a different path, right? And then the third one, as you rightly said, is also looking at things and then growing in terms of different
yeah.
aspects, right?
Yeah. And most important thing, if you have to become a student of wealth and money. How about having a school in which we have a bachelor of money making, masters of money making, doctors in money making, or bachelor in wealth building, masters in wealth building. So when you acquire those income skills, so best thing is to become a student of wealth, not only for yourself. After a certain period, once you make a million or two, that's just a number. Arnold says that I don't see a difference between a 49 million and a 50 million. It's just a number. But how about becoming a student of wealth and money? Do well for yourself, and you can do better for community after doing well for yourself, right? That's the purpose.
Absolutely, absolutely. And Meenakshi was looking for the third prison, which is prison of bank balance. And I think a lot of us go through this, and
Yeah.
especially the people who are in corporate, by mid of the month, our salary is all gone, right? So bank balance is again like almost nil. So that's the biggest challenge a lot of people face there.
Guys, I just want to give you one idea here, which is you got to shift the thinking. Okay, most of us first take care of all the bills, and then what is left out, or if at all it is left out, we invest. If you just shift your thinking, that first you invest, and then what is left out, from there you manage the bills. I think this is one thinking. If you make a shift, you will see a huge difference by end of the year. It'll be difficult, it'll take you through rough patches initially, But what it will do is it will force to think in an innovative way to solve this problem. See, remember, Einstein said you cannot solve the problem with the same mind which has created it. All right. So you
Right.
got to change that mind. So the moment you change your focus from paying the bills to, let me go first invest. I'll simplify it for you. Simple thing. 10% money you start putting in a gold fund. Simple. 10% of your money you start putting in a gold fund. If you don't know anything about stock investing, mutual fund, anything, 10% you start putting in any gold ETF, and you see the magic at the end of the year. No matter what, pay less 10% bill, but 10% I'm going to put in gold ETF. This one idea, in a year, you see what magic it is going to do for you.
Yeah, thank you for that powerful message. I am like now thinking, wish I would have met you like at least 15 years back, right? So the things would have been different because I was also
You
leading that
shouldn't have met me
life.
15 years back because I had just started. I was a disaster at that time.
Okay. Yeah, but at least people who are listening to this message, I think that is going to be a great help for them because they're getting started with your experience can change the entire life for them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes.
Right. So, Vijay, one thing is now, as we are talking about, say, corporate professionals or even with business people, you said the way of thinking should be different. First, think of investing, then think of the other expenses. Now, a lot of people get stuck at, hey, these are the this is the amount I need to have. These are the savings I need to have. Only then I can invest and all. So, is it the mindset? Is it the thought process that plays a bigger role here, or is it the money that plays a bigger role in this kind of shift?
I think it's a mindset, okay? Because we are in the world of possibilities. You just got to go and explore possibilities. So first of all, I want to encourage you to think about how can I have a multiple source of income, right? So you got to think, explore. I think probably somebody when they comes and tells her how can I get more money. I'll give you a classic example. Yesterday, I was in a cab, and I have this thing of interacting with people. I love to interact, no matter it's the auto wala or it's a cab wala, whatever. I interact with them. So I asked him, "What do you do?" He said, "Sir, in the morning I work in RTO, and in the evening I'm driving this cab." Right?
Wow.
So I asked him, "How much money you make?" He said, "My income is 40-50,000 through the RTO thing, and with the help of this taxi, I'm able to make 20,000 extra." So if somebody, and he's not that literate, if somebody of that sort thinks like this, don't you think we are much more capable than that? And we can think of getting more money from different sources, right? I think it is quite possible to do that. It is just you are not thinking probably. That's why you don't have a multiple source of income. The moment you shift your focus there, you will figure it out.
Yeah, and that was a beautiful example, Vijay. Whatever you shared about the mindset, right? The auto rickshaw, the person who is driving that cab, if he has that kind of a mindset, right, can change his life. Now, people who are educated, the doctors and the engineers, it is all about the mindset, not about any money or the resources.
Yeah.
Right? So now, if somebody has to get started, right, first of all, even before getting into coaching or training people, right, they have to get started in terms of investing. So, how do they get started in this particular field?
So there are two parts to it. Okay. One is the trading and one is investing. All right. And this mindset that you really need to have a big money for these things, that is again a myth. Of course, certain amount is required, but see, it's a habit, right? So I want you to, I will give you a couple of case studies, right? So you should go and check out the video of Osilo McCarthy. Okay. She was a sixth class dropout. She was a washer lady. She washed her clothes all her life. And at the age of 90, she donated $150,000 for Afro American children for the scholarship. And she got a doctorate from the Harvard and things like that. Somebody who was a sixth class dropout throughout her life just did the frugal saving, and think about she gets a doctorate from Harvard. So it's
Wow.
just a shift of your thinking. Okay. So first thing first, it's a habit. See the traditional habits what we had, that piggy bank thing. right? What was
Right.
that? That's a habit. Eventually, the snowball effect will come. But is that habit is there? Again, what you have to understand, we are in the world where we are persuaded to spend more. You really don't need 5 shirts and 10 pants, but because of an offer, you buy it. You really need it. So where it will start is, first thing what you got to do is check out any video you will get on YouTube, how to build your net worth statement. You got to know what your assets are, what your liabilities are, and you build your net worth statement so that you will know where you stand. Even if it is negative, no problem, because what you measure will surely improve. That's your step one. Step number two is that you do the budgeting every single month. Any budget format you can get it. And what I'll do, Fatah, is after this program, we have this kind of formats ready. So I will
Mhm.
give it to you and you can probably add next to our video. So we have a net worth statement ready and we have a budgeting statement ready, which we can give it to you. So you budget every single month and then you will get your actual numbers. And only key differentiation is when you are budgeting yourself, you ask whether it's a need or a want.
Hmm.
Okay. So once you figure out what is the need, what is a want, whatever money you are about to spend for wants, again, I want you to invest that money in a gold fund and you will thank me after a year. Because if it was a want, you are not supposed to spend that kind of a money.
Right.
So understand the media where you are in, the system in which you are in. If you are not controlling that system is persuading you to spend more. It's not that you don't have money, it's probably you are not looking at money management, you
Right.
know. And that's why this word spend thrift is introduced. Okay, so first thing, step one is money management. So net worth statement and busting statement will give you idea around the money. So we got to do the money management first, and then you go for the next thing. Okay. So first thing first, start observing where your money is going. We always say this, that if you can observe your calories and your money on a daily basis, you'll be
Hmm.
able to know what is going to happen to you.
Right. That's a great analogy, right? So calories where you are looking at your health and this one for your wealth. Yeah.
Right. So calorie and money you got to observe on daily basis. Okay. Now coming back to trading is something where you have to look for, because a lot of those who are in corporate, they don't have to do that intraday and things like that. I know it. So you have to look for a system which does not take much of time. You don't have time. I know that. If you're a corporate person, you don't have time. If you're a business person, also, you don't have a time. So look for a system which can take less time. One such system, you can come to me, our 5 minute pro trader system. As I said, the reason I built it, because I knew that corporate guys don't have time. That's one reason.
Right.
The second thing is investing part of it. You can start with even 100 rupees. It's perfectly fine. You can start with just 100 rupees, uh, but you got to do in a consistent manner. Now, between trading and investing, you have to follow. There is a framework which I have created, which is called as a 30T 70I. So 30T means 30% of your money you can put in trading. Let's say you decided that I want to put 100 rupees in stock market. So 30 rupees you should put in trading and 70 rupees should go in investing.
Hmm.
Okay. So of course, I mean, this requires a detailed training on this particular subject, but I'm just giving you at a very, very high level. So major problem what you're going to face here is, in stock market, it should not be random. Okay. It has to be structured. When I come across people and when I check their portfolio, the major problem what they face is there is no structure. So when you
Hmm.
go through the structured approach and you follow this 30T 70I and you learn the things, you'll be able to do good. Okay. So that should be your approach. You have to understand trading. Why do we do trading? We do to generate income, one extra income, and investing we do to create generational wealth and achieve your financial goals.
Right.
All right. All right.
Great. So those are some amazing tips. And can you just expand on net worth, right? Net worth statement. I think Meenakshi was confused with network statement, right? So net worth
net
statement,
net
like
worth
how can that?
net worth net worth. Okay, so how do you create that net worth statement? You will have your assets one side, you will have your liabilities one side. So what are your assets? So your home is an asset, your land or a property could be an asset, your gold jewelry, all those things are asset. Your investment in a company is an asset, your stock, your mutual fund, your savings, everything is an asset. Anything which brings money to your pocket is an asset, right? You may
Right.
say car is an asset. Is it an asset? Maybe
Yeah.
not, maybe yes, right? Anything
Yeah.
which takes out money from your pocket is a liability. So car
Mm.
is an asset, but it's a depreciating asset. All right.
Right.
Maybe you had paid 10 lakh rupees, but now it is for 7 lakh rupees. So 7 lakh rupees is going to be its asset value. It's a
Right.
depreciating asset. And again, it takes some money out of your pocket also. So it's a kind of liability also in a way.
Hmm.
Okay. It's a bit tricky situation. So liability is your credit card loan, your personal loan, your home loan, everything. That is what is your liability. So your asset minus your liability is your net worth.
Hmm. I think that was simple enough, and I think whatever you are going to share as part of the bonus, right, from this talk
Yeah.
show is also going to help people. So
Yes.
thank you for
And you
being
don't
so
worry,
kind.
I'm going to give you a format for the budgeting as well as how to capture your net worth.
Right. And while I was going through your profile and during when I was looking at things, right, what I also saw is you spoke about the 5 MMPT system, right? The 5 minute millionaire pro trader.
Yeah.
And how
Yeah.
does this work? Can you give a little brief of how this can be used by people who are especially in job and don't have time?
All right. So reason I created this system is especially for the corporate people that once you learn it, learning is required. Okay. So we run a 2 month program on this. So 2 months
Hmm.
will require for you to learn it so that you will be able to identify the trades and take the trades in 5 minutes. So initially maybe little more time will be required, but once you become a pro, we have built a scanner. So there are 2000 plus stocks in Nifty. You take the help of our scanner, you go and it will shortlist 5 to 10 stocks from it, and quickly you can go and decide, okay, for this particular day which trade is going to be there. So that is what we train on.
Okay, amazing. And especially when we talk about stock market, right? There is
Mhm.
this risk element that comes in play.
Oh,
So,
absolutely.
so how much of courage is required, and what is the risk-taking ability, and how can somebody build their risk-taking abilities?
Wonderful question. Wonderful question. Okay. So first thing, if you are a new person in stock market, stay away from two things. One is called as a intraday, second is called as a future and options
Hmm.
for a new person. Until unless you are not there in the stock market for more than 1 year and you don't get a good guru in this field, stay away from this. That's the just give me a sec. All right, we are good to go now.
Yeah, you were talking about the risk-taking ability, especially for
Right.
beginners, right?
So two things you stay away from. If you are a new person, stay away from the future and option and intraday. Strict no no. After 1 year, until unless you don't get a good guru for this, you should not go for it. And stay invested in equity cash market where risk is very low, and always go for a quality stock. So one rule I will tell you which I follow is I don't trade in a stock or invest in a stock which is less than 100 rupees, and I don't trade and invest in a stock which has a market cap less than 1000 crores, because
Hmm.
less manipulation is possible in such stocks. If these are like a cheap stocks, some 5 rupees stock, 10 rupees stock, these are basically going to take money from your pocket. So this rule you can follow, that below 100 rupees stock you don't trade and invest in, and less than 1000 crore market cap stock you don't get into it. And when you trade, please ensure there's a term called as a stop loss. So for example, you get into a trade with an assumption that it will go up, but what if it goes down? So you never let your losses go below 5%, or at the max 10%. There are certain rules which we follow at the max 10%, because if you can cap your losses at 10%, it is possible to recover it. But the moment there are four probability in stock market. First thing is big profit. Great. If we get a big profit, great. The second possibility is small profit. That is also great. The third possibility is small losses. That is also great. And the fourth possibility is big losses. So if we can avoid these big losses somehow and cut your losses at a small losses, these three combination works well for us. Only thing we have to avoid is the big losses.
Right.
You know, so only thing, if you can cap it your losses at a 5 to 10%, you will do good. You will do good.
Right. So
Okay.
those are
And
good tips.
one,
Yeah.
one nugget which I want to share with the people who have just started. Okay, I'll tell you one thing. And this is my analysis and my insight for the people who are watching this talk show. See, if you see the world market, all the market are in bad shape. So how do you compare a market where when it made a high and where it has come now? So you see US market, it made a high, and there is still, if you see a Dow Jones or Nasdaq, you will see a big gap over there. Okay, you go check European market, same problem. China, we already know because of Corona what is happening. So all the world market is not performing at this point of time. There's only a market in the world, which is Indian market, which is performing and which has created a new high recently. Now problems are still going on. You have that interest rate problem, you have that war going on, you have a recession going on. Last 1 year, if you see, the world has slipped into bear market. Slowly it is recovering. Now imagine when all the challenges, so war is going to get over, interest rate problem is going to go, inflation challenge is going to go eventually, right? Because recession is a cycle. It is not going to be
Right.
there forever. So
Right.
once the growth phase will start, in stock market there is a saying, the stock which falls less in bear market is going to boom in bull market. I hope you
Hmm.
understand the term bull and bear. It's fairly simple. People will understand. Bullish, being bullish, market going up. Being bearish, market going down.
Right.
So a stock which falls less during the bear market is going to boom in the bull market. Now
Hmm.
imagine a market which is performing during the bear market in the world. What is going to happen when all the problem of world will subside? So I see there is a bull run coming in very soon. Okay.
Great.
It could be this year, it could be next year. Ensure for next 10 years you participate in this space and you're going to make tons of money.
Great. That is really amazing and good confidence from your side here coming up there. And Vijay, you while you were talking from the beginning, I have been hearing from you like you also learn from coaches, mentors. So how important is it for people like to invest in coaches and mentors, or can they do everything on their own, like learning and then investing and everything here?
See, they can do on their own also, but then it is going to be a long track, you know. I mean, there's a saying, right? Wise people learn from their mistake, and wisest one from others' mistake, because life is not long enough to make mistake and learn, right? So
Right.
those who want to do on their own, the path is going to be a bit confusing. Okay, so I give this example that if you want a fast track, you will have to avoid biases. Your mind will create a lot of biases. So the
Right.
first type of bias comes from when people go and watch a lot of these business channels and CNBC, blah blah, these things. So you don't know it. So basically, you are depending on the advisor, and you're not very sure that advisor will give you a right advice. Let's say you bought a shares of Reliance. One advisor comes and he says Reliance ka share niche jayega. Now you get fearful. You have no analysis, so you will say let me sell. So that's first bias. The second bias comes from when you do the over reading, that Financial Express bhi pad rahe, ye bhi pad rahe, wo bhi pad rahe. You do over reading. So again, they are going to create a bias, right? And again, you're not sure that news which is published, whether it's a really credible or not. All right.
Right.
Now, the third source of bias, again, when you are part of too many Telegram channel and WhatsApp group, you depend on those people and you start trading on the tip without even realizing the credibility. whether the person who is giving you, is he a credible enough, right? There's all advisory services and all those people, and people lose a lot of money there.
Yeah.
And fourth bias is, when what you will do, you will go to one YouTube channel, you will start following one mentor, then start following another mentor, then third mentor. So eventually you will have a lot of strategies with you, but no mastery. So what is important over here is you do mastery on one strategy at least, right? Bruce Lee
Right.
says that I'm not afraid of a man who has practiced 10,000 of types of a kick, but I'm afraid of a man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times.
Exactly.
So your step should be, you want to do on your own, it's going to take a long time, for sure. You figure out one person and you stick to him for at least a year, because this will require hand holding. Because see, trading and investing is like a swimming. Okay, you cannot learn swimming by reading books. Similarly, you cannot learn trading and investing by reading books. So you
Right.
got to jump, and at the same time, you will require a trainer or a coach, or especially like I'll give you a classic example. Market fell recently. People started
Hmm.
messaging me, "Sir, kya hoga, kya hoga?" I was like, "Follow the rules. What I have taught you." No reply. Follow the rules. What I have taught you.
Hmm.
So your mentor and coach will definitely make the journey fast, and I think it is important. There are tough times where you will require that mental support, and he should be accessible and approachable. That is another thing which is important.
Right, right. Yeah, I think I completely resonate here because if you have to fast track, and people also do not look at it from the long term thing, right? When you are
Mhm.
investing in a mentor, you are learning and then you are growing together. And the wisest person, as you said, learning from others' mistakes here.
Yeah.
So this is amazing, and you have also written this book, Slumdog Investor, right? And
Uh-huh.
I'm sure it was a great experience launching in KBC with Amitabh Bachchan ji himself, right? So how did this happen? And also talk to us about your book, right? What is covered in this book? Who can actually refer to this particular book?
Right. I'll actually tell you the a very interesting story, Fatah. It will take some time, but I'll tell you the journey. Okay. So I'm not a, like, we are not like a Agatha Christie or those kind of authors, but because of going to so many people, learning from the coaches like Dr. John DeMartini, Brian Tracy, Jack Enfield, you have so much with you, right? Tony Robbins,
Right.
so much with you. So I had this thing that I have to pass on this knowledge to next generation or other people. I wanted to share this. So I started to go to a lot of book writing programs, and this is where I came across my publisher, Nitin Soniji. I was there in one of his programs.
Mm-hmm.
So of course I was thinking that I'll write a book, but I was exploring options. So there were three authors who were supposed to launch their book. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
one of the author was Dr. Kalpesh Kotecha. So when his turn came, so people came, they launched their book, and he was the third person to launch his book. When his turn came, what he told, that, my dream was to meet Mr. Bachchan. I
Hmm.
could not meet him, so I wrote a book and I sent it to his office, and he got a letter from him that, thank you, Dr. Kalpesh Kotecha, for your book, and great, congratulations. When I get a time, I'll read it. Karke.
Hmm.
Now, after the program was over, no one was going to other authors. This guy was getting all footage. And I was like, what happened? So I got that dream there, that boss, he got a letter from Mr. Bachchan. If he can get so much footage and this thing, what if I write a book and present to Mr. Bachchan? This is 5 years ago, in 2015 end or something like that.
Hmm.
So this is where I got this dream. We talked about this secret and everything.
Right.
So from that day till I mean, it took me 5 years to reach 2019 KBC. I got inaugurated, but I never had a speck of doubt that I won't be able to do it. Until then, I had no clue how am I going to do it. So what we talk about, the affirmation, visualization, manifestation, I show this picture to people just to prove to it that it works. You know,
Wow, that is amazing, right? And doing that book launch with Shri Amitabh Bachchan ji is himself, like, is a
right?
great thing to do. So congratulations for doing that and being there with Bachchan ji. I've seen those pictures as well, amazing ones, right? So
Right.
now the book you have written, right? What is covered
Right.
inside this book? Like, who
Right.
can
So,
start referring to this book?
Slumdog Investor, when I was writing my book, Slumdog Investor is in a form of story.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it's a story about a guy who makes a financial decision wrong in his life, wrong financial decision, and he's on a verge of committing suicide. And then he finds his mentor,
Mm-hmm.
and he teaches him the right lessons in life, who was successful, and then he succeeds in his life. So part one, I would say, of the book is more of I would say mindset.
Mm-hmm.
The core philosophy is, as you said, in your life you will not make as much money as you want, but you will make as much money as you deserve. So how do you
Right.
build that deservability?
Mm-hmm.
So more of the story progresses around that, and then the formats and the methods, how you can do it at a very high level. So for a person who has no idea about the financial, who does not have a financial literacy, if he wants to learn about it, I think it is going to be a great help for them.
Great. And I would definitely recommend to all the viewers here and people who are going to watch the recording as well. Right. If you want to learn and fast track your journey, right, here is the man, Dr. Vijay Prakash, and here is the book for you, Slumdog Investor, which has come through experience learning from various people and reading multiple books. So this is one book which can actually compress and fast track your journey as well. Right. So one side we have already spoken now, Vijay, which is about investing, trading, and all. Right. The other side is where people want to become those coaches and mentors. Right. The educators in the stock market field. Right. Today we have so many people out there. So how can somebody become an innovative stock market educator just like you?
Fatah, I want to tell you, in India, in online space, there are 500 coaches in stock market because I study my competitors. So I know that there are close to 500 coaches and their video programs which are there in this space. Okay.
Hmm.
Now, 2 crore new people have entered into stock market only during the Corona period. 2 crore.
Wow.
Those who don't know anything about stock market, anything. Now, if I talk about my premium club, in my premium club, I have close to 1,000 people at my level,
Mm-hmm.
right? So even if you aim for 1,000 people as your customer and
Right.
500 coaches are already there, still how many people you can reach out to, right?
There
They're
is a
just going to be,
huge this one. Yeah.
yeah, they're just going to be like 500 multiplied by uh, f- uh, uh, 500, right?
Right.
Which
Yeah.
is 5 lakh.
Right.
Now,
Right.
even if 5 lakh people are taken from 2 crore, still how big is the market? And that I'm talking about 2 years ago data. Now the data is much bigger. So
Right.
aim for 1,000 customers, but to cater to that 1,000 customers, you got to prepare yourself. I can tell you how to get those guys because I have done it, been there, done that, done and dusted. Just aim for 1,000 customers, but before you go to them, you got to be prepared. There is a
Right.
need, even if you teach simple technical analysis, there is a need of people who can educate and train people on money management, on wealth management, on stock market, on business building, right? So coaches and mentors are there. 500 is the number which is on record. I know who those people are who are doing it, but still
Interesting.
5 lakh 5 lakh customers उन्होंने ले भी लिया है, then also you have out of those 2 crore people left, right?
Right. Yeah. Minimum from there, at least we have like 1 crore 95 lakhs, right? That itself is a huge population. And
Right.
yes, and I think
And
that is
money making niche is always going to top all other niches. Three,
right.
I and Pata know that 3 major niches are money making, then health, and spirituality relationship.
Right.
And money making is going to be there forever, right?
Absolutely.
So
Right.
you should think of building your career in this area, and you can start part time. I too learned the things part time, and eventually, when you're confident, when your systems and structures are in place, and when you start generating that kind of income, then you can be come full time here.
Right, absolutely. And one thing I strongly recommend everyone when they are looking for mentors is always look for a mentor who has walked the path, right? Like Dr.
Absolutely.
Vijay, he has done it himself. He has walked the path because there are so many out there, right, who might also be teaching without actual the practical, without actually having that practical knowledge. So having that right mentor is also important if you have to grow faster in your life.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Right.
Always check for the result. I'll come to your point what Fatah said. So in my programs I tell people, hey, you know what, you are looking for a mentor. Now what you have to look for in your mentor when you are looking for a mentor, first thing, result of his life should be better than your life, number one.
Absolutely.
Two, this mentor should impress you. If he's not able to impress you, again he does not qualify. Three, he should be able to prove to you through his results of at least 1 year,
Mhm.
and he should be able to prove to you for his recent results, especially when it comes to finances and stock market. Recent, check out his recent result. All right. And
Right.
if he's talking about money and all, he himself self should not be in a job for sure. Right. If I'm talking about a financial freedom and a passive income, if I'm in a job, I am not a credible person. I see a lot of people do it part time, maybe. And this is how you choose a mentor.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
So look for the parameter, no matter which area it is, but look for these parameters when you're choosing a mentor, because
Yes,
you are
absolutely.
going to give your hard earned money to that person, assuming that he is going to produce result for you.
Right. Yeah, I think those three pointers are very important because people
Yeah,
invest their hard-earned money. So having that right mentor is very important for people to grow.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, Vijay, we have been talking about, we spoke about trading, we spoke about investing, we spoke about even educators. Now, how do you see the future of this? We have spoken about definitely the 2 crore that have got in and then more people getting in this, right? But how do you see the future of stock market trading, and how do you see the future of these educators, right, who are going to help people in the world?
I would say in India, digital coaching and training has just started, right?
Hmm.
If you talk about a stock market and mutual fund and a demat account, still India has not crossed more than 10 to 12%. So what it means is, as a market, we still have 88%. And that's why a lot of people ask me, sir, why do you coach and train only people in India? Why don't you coach and train people outside India?
Hmm.
Why don't you capture other markets? I'm like, boss, कस्टमर सारे इधर ही हैं, पहले इनको तो cater कर लो, right?
Right.
We have so many people. I mean, 88% of the population is still untapped. And as an educator, see, the good thing about this space is you can also create a customer who does not know anything about this thing by just persuading them and by just telling them that, hey, you know what? Something like this exists. And I would say at least 50% of my customers are like that, who had no clue about
Hmm.
stock market, who had no clue. There's a guy named Sahitya Sarkar in my community. So Sahitya came to me last October, and he's like a
Hmm.
topmost guy in my community,
Wow.
right? So in my every testimonial videos and things like that, I invite him for the program that, hey, here is a man who was actually thinking that it's a speculation, and today he is on his own, because what I promise to people is, you be with me for 2 months, I'll make you independent. See, one way is in stock market is to give you fish. I can tell you my trades and you copy my trades, which is like giving you a fish. The other
Hmm.
way is to teach you fishing. How I do it, if I educate you, you will be on your own. And I believe that it is a responsibility of all masters is to create more masters, not followers,
Absolutely.
right? And
Absolutely.
this comes from, if you have heard of this person by name Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, who gave transcendental meditation to the world. In one of the talk shows, somebody asked him, Gurudev, you have given transcendental meditation to so many people, and you don't have much of the followers, right? He
Hmm.
said it's a responsibility of a master is to create more masters, not followers. So I copied that philosophy and I implemented here. Boss, it's our responsibility as a master is to create more masters.
Absolutely. I completely agree with you. And I think a big lesson for people is like if you think the right time was in the past, I think the right time is still now, right? Yes, of course, the past is gone, but
Yeah.
it is the right time. Now is the right time. And anybody starting from scratch, right? If Vijay has been able to produce results for others, it would work for you as well. So even if you don't know anything about it, you can still start from the scratch, with the right mentor, with the right guidance, and you can still grow in your career, you can still grow in your income, and then you can create great results in your life, right? So with that, Vijay, what is that one concluding message that you would want to give? Of course, we had all good golden nuggets throughout the episode, right? But what is that concluding message you want to give to our audience so that they can take it back home today?
I'll say this in a quote कि सोच को बदलोगे तो सितारे बदल जाएंगे, सोच को बदलोगे तो सितारे बदल जाएंगे, नजर को बदलोगे तो नजारे बदल जाएंगे, मंजिलों को पाने के लिए कश्तियों का बदलना नहीं है जरूरी, दिशाओं को बदलोगे तो किनारे बदल जाएंगे.
Wow, amazing, beautiful, beautiful there. Right. So that's a great message, and thank you, Vijay, for being with us and adding so much of value to our audience life and giving us
And
your time.
thank you, Pata, for hosting this kind of a talk show. Uh, like entertainment videos go viral, but I believe even if we get a 3 to 500 views on this kind of a video and we can change one life through this video, I think it'll be worth we doing it together. And you are doing extremely wonderful job. 76th episode, 1 hour each. Think about the investment and the preparation at the same time. To do this kind of a talk show, it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of preparation, and the consistency of this man himself. So kudos to you, Fatah, for the work which you are doing and the work which you're doing for our passionpreneur community. Wonderful.
Thank you, Vijay. And it really is the support coming from all of you, right? The host. It's not just the host, the guest, and also the people who are watching us, right? So for all of you who have been watching us live and going to watch us on the recording, right? Go through this and not only learn but also implement, because actions is what will get you results. So whatever you are watching, so if you have to reach out to Dr. Vijay, he is available online, of course. In the videos on the comment sections we'll be sharing the details with you, but he is also available online on Facebook, LinkedIn, right? And you can also subscribe to his YouTube channels, and yes, of course, pick up his book Slumdog Investor, which is going to be a life changer for you. So thank you for that. Thank you, Vijay, and thank you everyone for joining us.
Thank you, Fatah, and thank you everyone for watching or those who are going to watch the recording. Thank you so much.
Thank you and good night.